This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
All right. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Loaded show. Haarberg looking great. What's he going to do? What's he going to be? What can they do with him at tight end? Satterfield, we got like 4 clips today. Satterfield's high on him. E.J. Barthel had a press conference. Apparently, our offensive line is going to dominate opposing defensive lines so much that they're going to make them eat corn, or that's what a clip from a show that I sent to Jake earlier. That's what that show host said, Sam. College Football Show with Sam on YouTube. I believe that's what it's called. He's high on Nebraska's O-line. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Nick Saban defines toughness. And I'd actually seen this clip a few years ago. Someone randomly sent it to me today. I thought it just made so much sense. I'm like, hey, we're going to share this clip because he's right. Essentially, what does it take to break you is a measure of how tough you are. What does it take to break you? But he kind of defines that a little bit more, gives an example from his own life. We were supposed to do our college football playoff bracket predictions tomorrow, but Jake is running scared. Where are you going to be tomorrow, Jake?
Fall wedding, actually.
Oh, wow. So this is like a double whammy. It's a fall wedding and you're ducking the very segment we were promoting earlier this week. Are you running scared to a fall wedding of all things?
Hey, it's just, this is what we talk. This is why we talk about it. It sometimes can get in the way of our football.
Sometimes. Now, okay. It's still August. To me, that's technically summer.
That's true.
Week 0, the season technically doesn't start till the next day, Saturday.
That's true, too.
The wedding's Friday.
Yeah.
You know what? I think you're okay. I don't think this is technically a fall wedding.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The season hasn't even started till the next day. I think you're okay on the fall wedding side of this, Jake. We're going to give you a pass, all right?
I think that's what my sister decided. She said he's probably going to be all into week 0, my brother, so I better make sure we get the wedding in before that.
They base their wedding off you.
Off week 0, yeah, I think so.
Wow. That's an amazing relationship you and your sibling have there. I don't believe you. I think you're maybe fibbing just a smidge, but it's okay. We're on board. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. Who's going to be producing tomorrow? Do you know?
I believe Nick will be sitting in with you.
Hey, Nick, can you hear me? He never pays attention.
He can't hear you.
That's all right. We'll do our college football playoff bracket predictions tomorrow. I will. Jake's running scared, and if Nick's not prepared, well, he'll just wing it. He would have got it wrong anyway, so who cares? Yeah, he still can't hear me. That's okay. I'll take more jabs at him while he's not listening. All right. Hour 1 of the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about their residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. That's Hamilton, TEL.com. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. You brought up the fall wedding thing. And again, it feels more like a summer wedding to me. So there's an exemption there. Now that we have, the facts. So I wasn't going to start off the show with this, but I got to ask about fall weddings. The people out there listening, what are your thoughts on fall weddings? All right, what's that text? What's that number there, Jake?
402-464-5685.
Text in and let us know. Oh, reminder, 11:30, former Husker Ricky Simmons will be joining us in studio live for an interview. He has a show every Sunday night here on the Ticket as well. Just vibes of positivity coming off that man. He's got a heck of a story. A lot of people are familiar with it. If you're not, we'll ask him about it. All right, Jake, what is your take on fall weddings? Since we were not going to start off the show with this, but you're ducking this for a summer wedding tomorrow. It's close enough. It's a close enough segue that I'll allow it. What are your takes on fall weddings?
Well, I think just if you're, obviously if you do it in a football crazed state like Nebraska, you have to understand that maybe you can push through and do it, but that probably half to more than half of the audience will be checking their phone, will be looking down. You probably won't get as many people just coming in general. My aunt and uncle have told me before, that was kind of growing up, was telling me, hey, if you do that, we're not going to come to your wedding. We're going to be watching Husker football. So, yeah, I mean, I think as long as you understand what you're doing and the expectation of it, and I know it's supposed to be a special day, but it's football season. So, I mean, what do you really expect?
If it's on a bye week, like a Nebraska bye week, does that factor in? Or are you just doubting our seriousness of our college football fandom as a whole if you put it on a bye week?
I think you can put it on a bye week. I think that's fair. I'll still be checking my phone and looking at the scores. Don't get me wrong. But I think that's fair. I also like how when over the last several years especially, people will choose which, like, the weakest non-con game, and they'll have their wedding there. And then Nebraska's like in a game in the third quarter. It ends up being a close game. And so that doesn't even work at times. So, we'd like it to be the days where Nebraska can roll their helmet on the field and beat some of those opponents. But even those days aren't safe here in fall wedding season anymore.
We only are guaranteed 12 football games a year. I don't care if it's Gag Me You that we're playing and they're number one in the country and they had Arch Manning if they were on our schedule, or if we're playing Timbuktu, Never Heard of You. We only get 12 of these guaranteed to us. We don't have a guaranteed spring game anymore. We're not guaranteed a bowl game or a college football playoff, although we do expect it this year, at least the bowl game. We only get 12 of these. If it's Never Heard of You, Timbuktu, You, I'm paying attention. Not just because I have to talk about the game afterwards. I get to talk about the game and I want to watch the game. So I'm gonna pull back and I'm gonna buck a little bit on the weakest non-conference game. Okay, the bye week thing. Because if you're mainly a Nebraska football fan, it works. If you're a general college football nut like we are, I know you are too.
Yeah,
it doesn't quite work. Here's my thought: 12 weeks out of a 52-week year. You have 40 other weeks. 40 other weeks. Now, I got married in December in Nebraska, in Lincoln. Not everybody wants to get married when it's 0 degrees and snowing outside. We didn't care. We just loved each other so much, Jake. I have no idea if my wife's listening. I love you so much, Ange. We didn't care. We just wanted to get married. And then we knew I was getting ready for the draft. I was training. I was going to the Senior Bowl. Getting drafted is insanity. Then you got to move. It was really just the best time for us. Let me see. On Friday, I graduated. Saturday, bachelor party. Sunday, got married. A week later, our honeymoon was in Dallas for the Cotton Bowl. And then I've talked about this. As soon as the Auburn game was over, I was in a limo on a plane headed to Houston where I was going to train for the next few months. So we knew it was insanity. So a little bit different for us. So maybe you don't want to get married when it's 0 degrees and snowing outside. I understand that. So if you say there's 40 other weeks, Adam, well, they're not all optimal weather weeks. Maybe we want to get married outside. Maybe it's inside of a church. Then it doesn't matter, okay, what the weather is outside, in my opinion. Maybe you want to get married outside. So let's say you still have 30 weeks of the year. Take out 2.5 months. Take out 10 weeks. That's 30 weeks. That's still over 50% of the year. I don't want to drop the S-bomb. But is it a little selfish to take one of my 12 Saturdays away? Like, you have so many other options. Spring weddings are beautiful. Beautiful. Summer weddings. Now I know July, August gets hot. Early June's wonderful. A little warm. How much do you love each other? I'm just saying. If you put a fall wedding, especially on a Nebraska football weekend, I'll love you. I'll send some money, maybe an extra wedding present. But I will see you sometime in the near future after your wedding. Because unless you're like, I'm your best man or something. And if I'm your best man and you put it then I'm not your best man. Like, we are not truly friends.
You have to break that off.
Yes. I'm just saying. Sometimes you have to prioritize what's important in life, and those 12 Saturdays, I mean, it's hard to prioritize other things over those. There's a little bit of jest and a whole lot of truth in that. I'm just saying, there's so many weekends and other opportunities to do things. Now, who hates everything I just said, and what is the venom like on the text line?
Yeah, we can get to the text line here again, 402-464-5685, the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Ohio Husker says no weddings after football starts. Scott in Minnesota says there are mixed allegiances, then no way. If both families and friend groups have the same favorite team, bye week is acceptable. So he kind of threw that out there. 9597 says, I'm not going to my brother's wedding on October 4th.
Ooh.
So there we have
That's the, is that Michigan State? Is that...
yeah, that sounds about right.
Hold on, you keep reading. I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah. 6913 says, just have a TV at the receptions. So maybe that could work.
Yes, that's Michigan State. After a bye week. There's literally a bye week the week before. Sorry, go ahead.
We have a text here. We based our wedding based around home Husker games. We had ours in a bye week back in 2000. My wife is from New York and thinks we are all in a cult. She said, by the way, we are divorced now.
Wow. Oh,
LOL
boy.
At the end, though, so it's okay.
It's okay that they're divorced because LOL?
Because they could laugh about it, yeah.
Okay. LOL and emojis. They change the entire tone of text, but go ahead.
3687 says, as Bill Walton used to say, horrible, terrible. Says a buddy has a wedding the night of the Michigan game.
Oh, wow. Is this guy like a spy for Al Qaeda? Like, who does that? The night of the Michigan game.
Of all games.
Oh, wow. All right, is that all of them?
No, this is a lot of people have opinions on this. 0778 says the average marriage lasts 20 years. Being a Husker fan lasts a lifetime.
So I have two thoughts. Number one, is that true? The average marriage is 20 years?
I don't know about that.
But being a Husker fan does last a lifetime. That is true. Wow. So technically, I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not a marriage counselor, but the idea is that marriage lasts until death. I mean, I'm just saying technically.
Hopefully, yeah, ideally.
You know, that's the idea there. All right, but I get what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. The average marriage is 20 years. I don't know. So there was somebody I just got married. I mean, this was like, I got married December of 06. This is like almost 20 years ago, 19 years ago. Within about 2 years of me and Angie getting married, somebody told me year 7 was the hump year.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most difficult year. So for somebody to say, it must be correct because it's on the internet, that 20 years is the average marriage length, that's a long time after that 7-year hump year. Anyways, we have to dive down the marriage hole here. Anything else, Jake?
Yeah, they call that the 7-year itch because after that you give up on trying to fix your partner.
Is that what it is?
That's pretty much the idea. Yeah.
Women stop trying to fix men after 7 years.
Well, they give up on it, or either accept life as it is, or fix or change. I guess.
I got you.
Zach says my brother has his wedding during a Nebraska game. Had 3 big screens playing during the ceremony and reception, and loved it.
During the ceremony.
I guess so.
Was the bride on? Obviously, the bride was on board with this. Like, is she a huge Husker fan too? If so, I have so many questions. Like, what bride is okay with this? And if she's that big of a Husker fan, why is your wedding during a game? I'm so confused.
We get another one. They did the same thing, had 2 big screens. So apparently that is something you can do. Jake Sorensen says we got married October 17th, 2020, the week before Big Ten football started in COVID year.
Well, COVID year was all sorts of jacked up, as we know. We weren't going to play. Then we played 8 games. And funny how the SEC was always on board with football. I always thought that was interesting. What, didn't the Pac-12 play like 6 games? 4?
I can't remember.
They don't
They're
even
pretty much
exist
just on board with whatever the Big Ten was going to
Yeah,
do.
pretty much. They don't even exist anymore. All right. Fall weddings. I'm just saying. There's a lot of other options, a lot of other great times. Technically, I don't know that I've ever seen someone do it the day before. Do you think college football starts week 0? Or like the Thursday going into week 1, like NFL season starts the Thursday going into their first weekend, which is usually after Labor Day weekend, which is when college football week 1 starts.
I mean, it starts when it kicks off, week 0. It's Nebraska was 0-1 after week 0. You couldn't tell me any differently a couple years ago. I mean, so for our season, it started then, and the Big 12 again. I think there's a pretty big game, top 25 battle that could have heavy stakes for the Big 12 this year in week 0. So I think it starts Saturday.
Yeah, Kansas State, Iowa State. So the heavy favorites in the Big 12, not heavy favorites, but like the 4 teams that are kind of favored the most are like Arizona State, Kansas State, Texas Tech. Iowa State is up there. I feel like Utah. That's another. There's about 5. But that whole conference is so top to bottom. Like, again, Arizona State picked to finish last year, won the whole thing. It's the parity in that conference is unmatched from any other conference. Now, the top end teams, not a ton of top 10, top 5 teams, although Arizona State turned out to be really good last year. All right. Fall weddings. I'm just saying. Anything else before we move on?
Yeah, there's still a bunch of texts, but everybody's got an opinion on it. We better. I don't want to go through all of them.
I feel like most people agree with me, though.
Oh yeah, most people in Nebraska are very against fall weddings.
I've always said we have a highly intelligent audience. I'm just saying, highly intelligent. Like the top 1% of all the audiences is our audience.
That's right.
Have I sucked up enough?
I think so.
Hey, the facts don't care about feelings. It's just the truth. All right. We got about, 7-8 minutes here before we're going to head to break, and then Ricky Simmons is going to join us. Let's start to dive into some of the recent press conferences. So Coach E.J. Barthel, the running backs coach, he said, and I quote, "Everything we do here is about development," end quote. That's always been one of Matt Rule's big things. Developing, finding diamonds in the rough. He doesn't necessarily, everyone wants accomplished players and talented accomplished players, but he has no problem finding that big dude or that really fast dude that's a little bit under the radar or hasn't played a ton of football. And bam, all of a sudden, a lot of those guys are in the NFL because they were developed at Baylor, Temple. He's trying to do some of the similar things here. All right, Emmett Johnson is at the last stage of his development. Emmett is carrying 205 pounds well. Is it just me, or has Emmett Johnson not been talked about that much this offseason? I feel like Dane Key, Ja'Cory Barney, Dylan Raiola, the offensive line, Lyndon Meyer Haarberg, Carter Nelson hasn't been talked about a ton, and Archie Wilson, like specific guys are talked about. I feel like Emmett's kind of flown under the radar. Everyone's kind of like, he's our starter. We're good there. Who's after him? I feel like that's been the big intriguing question. Like Mekhi Nelson seems to be that next guy. Quentin Ives, I know the coaches liked. He's still getting in the full swing of things after the injury, but Mekhi has that burst. I think it's just, how deep do we go? How deep in that running back room does the depth go that the coaches trust the depth? Like you can put guys 2 and 3, but how well do the coaches trust the guys listed 2 and 3? Has Emmett flown under the radar to you? People don't take him for granted, but it's just kind of like, he's the guy, we know it.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like you said, I think just a lot of the talk has been the depth behind him. So you feel good about that up front, and then you kind of wonder about the guys behind him, and you wonder what he could have done. To maybe, I mean, unless he took like huge significant strides, was just running off everything at practice, and it was made it undeniable to talk about. You wonder what he could have done, because that's really kind of the next question: is what is he going to be in the offense? Because we know what he is, we know kind of what he can bring and what he does but especially what he was able to do with Dana Holgorsen. I would have thought that he would have been more talked about coming down the stretch. Now, again, when I go back to nationally, he didn't start most of the games, only finished with 1 rushing touchdown. I understand why he's not talked about nationally, but locally, I mean, I think he's a big piece to the puzzle this year.
It's interesting because he was 4th on the depth chart. By the end of the year, he was our leading rusher as a freshman. Last year, as we all know, didn't play a ton until the end of the year, then proved himself, in my opinion, to undoubtedly be the best running back in the room, in my humble opinion. But he was kind of under, buried on the depth chart. Now he's number one, and I feel like he's not being talked about that much. But I think you make a good point. People kind of know what to expect out of Emmett. They're excited. There's not a lot of concern there. Like, you feel good and confident about that. You tend to talk more about the question marks than things you feel good about sometimes. All right. Barthel says Mosey in space is, and I quote, special, end quote. He knows how to make people miss. And I quote, when you have an athlete like that, you want to get the ball in his hands, end quote. So that's another guy. All right, they moved him to running back for a reason. So that's another guy to keep your eye on, Isaiah Mosey. Now, he says the D-line has been flashy. Jalen George has been a standout. Riley Van Poppel has a presence. Pop's name's been brought up. I'm just going to start calling him Pop. I just like that. Is that acceptable? Does that make him sound old?
It makes it sound like you're talking about your dad, but yeah.
Van Poppel? I just like Pop. I don't know. Maybe that catches on. Maybe it doesn't. All right. He's been brought up a ton. Starting to get excited. Really, you watched him in the bowl game. He looked really good. Really good. The question is, hey, you do it one game or you do it sporadically. Can you do it day in and day out? You don't get a single-digit number like he did without doing it day in and day out. Jalen George is a guy whose name has been brought up, him and Jameer Khan, like a couple of the FCS guys. It's been talked about how those FCS guys sometimes they just tend to work harder. Just coming from where they came from and being here, sometimes it strikes you a little bit different. And so his name's been brought up. All right, Coach Braden, has the best energy he has been around, the D-line coach. Ives was crushed when he got injured, has been sharp in meetings, and I quote, locked in, end quote. He expects Ives to, at some point, have a big year for us. So it sounds to me what we already knew and talked about earlier, that he's still making his way back, maybe physically, when you're out a week or two, that's a big deal. There's a reason you have camp, just show up. When you're not able to participate in that physically, at least he's been sharp mentally. Because there are guys that when they're out physically, they check out mentally. And then they're just, I don't want to say they're dumb, but you're almost too far behind. As long as he's on top of it mentally, the physical part will come back. And that's why he says at some point this year, all right, we'll have a big year for us. Now, biggest strides for Nelson have been off the field, and he has really grown up as a note taker. His attentiveness in the classroom, Mekhi Nelson, in the classroom understands how serious a mistake is. And a lot of times when coaches talk about mistakes from a running back, they're talking about pass protection, because when you make a mistake, your quarterback's getting leveled. The running back is the guy who picks up the blitzer on the end line of scrimmage, or the guy coming up the middle. If it's a Mike blitz or some sort of twist up the middle, there's a free linebacker a lot of times coming up the middle because the running back's supposed to step up and pick him up. If you don't, your quarterback's getting leveled by a dude who's about 250 with a head start. So a lot of times when a running back coach talks about these things, that's what they're talking about. Said he's very pleased with Nelson, has done a great job all around, just needs to transfer it to the actual game now. All right, from practice to the game. Sometimes easier said than done. Hopefully it goes pretty well here. Short yardage, physical, blue-collar football is their mindset in the running back room. And Vincent Genatone has been playing fullback and running back, listed at 225 pounds, 6 foot, and has crazy drill numbers as far as testing-wise. All right, so maybe keep your eye on him. I'd kind of like, I don't want to say giving up on the fullback being around, but maybe we'll have a few plays with the fullback in the backfield. I bet our texters like that. Feel free to text in about the fullback potentially being a part of the offense in the fall. What say you before we head to break here, Jake?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. They kind of took that position away. I get it. You can sub different guys in there at the goal line, but it's still a position. I think that when you need those extra couple yards, it's good to kind of get behind a guy like that. So I'm interested. Obviously Genatone wasn't even on the radar until switching positions here recently. And so I'm very interested to see how that goes. And again, for that running back position, I'm also interested because Ives, they've talked about, when you're out, other guys have a chance to step up. But to me, also, if you've proven yourself enough, then it's going to be hard to kind of take your spot. And so obviously, Ives hasn't had a lot of carries in games, but even at practice, he must not have separated enough to not, to risk a spot. And those other guys are talking about as being special, wanting to get the ball to him. So dare I say, a loaded running back room? Potentially. Well, not preseason, but hopefully by midseason we could say that.
Did you just call the running back room elite? Is that what I heard?
Elite, yeah.
Elite? Is that what you said, Jake? It's interesting when you think back to, and I know we got to get to break, and I want to bring on Ricky, and then we're going to get back to Satterfield's press conference and a bunch of clips and a bunch of things that I think are very, very interesting. But remember the first play of the first spring game was when they honored Solich and we handed the ball to the fullback. It's just interesting how differently things work out as time goes along. And now the fullback position appears to possibly be back. We'll see what happens. All right. Although I didn't hate putting Ty Robinson back there, there's got to be another D lineman that we can put back there in the fullback position. I'm just saying. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, I'm Casey Oddie, and I'm the Retail Banking Manager at your local Midwest Bank branch on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Banking may be my job, but supporting the community is what I care most about. Whether I'm showing up at local events, partnering with schools, or helping people reach financial milestones, I am proud to be a part of what makes Lincoln strong. Let's build something together. Stop by and say hi. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne and John Cook and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your Big Red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor, and we want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com or call 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds. An afternoon high around 88. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, the low near 67. And tomorrow, which means showers and storms arriving in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly sunny skies with light winds and a high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, where your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We have a special in-studio guest, a former Husker, a man who has a show Sunday nights to get your happy on hour here on 93.7 The Ticket as well. Mr. Ricky Simmons. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. How you feel?
Dude, life is good. So I know a lot of people are aware of your story and your 15 plus years of sobriety.
Yes,
but
sir.
for those who haven't heard it, would you mind sharing it with the fine folks at home? Because there's a lot of cool components to it. You would meet weekly with Osborne, et cetera, but I'll let you share the story.
Well, it's real simple. I want your audience to understand something. I am a speaker first, and what I do is I try to use my story to inspire others not to make the mistakes that I make. I like a lot of humor. It's not that I'm joking or I'm not taking things serious. I just prefer to laugh versus stress. But I'll say it this way. I call myself a genius.
Okay.
Because I figured out how to go from the NFL to prison 4 times. That's how,
I got you.
That's
I
how
got
smart
you.
I am.
Yeah, yeah, I got
and
you.
to make sure I was on point, I went to 10 treatment centers and graduated 9 of those. But since then, I for those that don't know, I was in prison the 4th time, and I had pretty much lost everything, including the 2 people I love the most, which is now in heaven, my parents. And I received a letter out of the clear blue. I just wasn't expecting it. And this letter came at a time in life where the timing was probably just as important as the letter itself. And the letter was like a paragraph. It's first of all, let me back up. I was embarrassed that I got a letter. And then to see who the letter was from, the Nebraska Athletic Department. And I hadn't talked to Nebraska for over 2 decades.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this letter came out of clear blue. It said, "Dear Ricky, I know your parents believed in you. I believe in you. And upon your release, if there's anything I can do to help you, feel free to contact me." And it was signed Tom Osborne. And I fell on my knees in my prison cell and I turned my life over to Christ. And 16 years and counting later, I'm traveling the country speaking, trying to help others not make the mistakes that I made. Basically, throwing Ricky under the bus to help others.
Yeah.
This is the best way I can describe it.
Just being open and honest and vulnerable, which is, dude, that can be hard to do sometimes, but you embrace it.
Well, a lot of people, when they go through a lot of adversity in life and are fortunate enough to get past it, it's much more comfortable to hide it from the public because I don't want everybody to know all this bad stuff that I've done. I just got a different approach because, like I said, 16 years ago, when I turned my life around, I dedicated the rest of whatever time I have left on earth to making my parents, who are both in heaven, proud of me. And in order to make them proud of me, then I have to go out and do these things that a lot of people would call embarrassing or uncomfortable.
When you decided to turn your life around, there's obviously a process after that.
Oh, absolutely.
It had to be challenging.
Absolutely.
What was that like? What helped you get to where you're at now, where you are just a man who enjoys life? In fact, you said something in a way I'd never heard it before, but it made so much sense. And I had to write it down. If you don't feed it, talking about some of the negativity that's out there, it won't grow. And I was like, holy cow, that makes so much sense. We'll get back to that, but talk to me about the process and what that was like and what helped you.
Well, the process, it started off with, like I said, 16 years ago, Coach Osborne, still the AD at the time, going and visiting him and thanking him. And for the last 16 years, once a week for a couple of minutes, I know he's a busy man, so I show up and basically say thank you. It's called accountability in my eyes, just thanking him. And he never takes credit for it. He's, oh, Ricky, it was just a letter. I'm like, it was just a letter to you. To me, it was life-changing. But, the one thing about this, and this is for any of your audience that may be struggling, I'd like to say this. Don't ever worry about what people said, because if you think about it, people only talk about you when they're interested in what you're doing. And see, and I had to embrace that. I know that I gave everybody the right to say, any day now, Ricky's going to drop the ball and he'll be back in there doing what he do, and I think the statistics show that if a person is incarcerated after they get out, they may make it 5 years or less and they're back in. Well, I hope they're not waiting on me to come back, because I left that behind. And every day when people, challenge me because of the happy demeanor that I choose to have, I get questions all the time, especially social media has made it very easy for people to go private message. Hey, man, how you be happy all the time, man? I mean, you don't ever have bad days? I'm not saying life is perfect, but Ricky makes better choices when he's positive. I didn't make good choices when I was negative or stressed or upset. So that's why I choose to be. I mean, it could be the same problem. If I'm happy, I'll deal with it one way. If I'm unhappy, I'll deal with it the wrong way.
Yeah, I get that. There's a lot of truth in that. Yeah. So you say people challenge you. Yeah. What exactly does that mean? Do they challenge you like, hey, how can I try to do this? Or is it, okay, are you being a little bit fake here? Because I will say this. I've seen you multiple times a year for like the past 5 or 6 years, and I always know what to expect from you. And I've never once thought it was anything but genuine. Yeah. Part of that is your story, which you're sharing. Right. But when people challenge you, what do you mean by that?
Well, I think it's like, and this is my opinion, but I really believe that they're unhappy with themselves. So, I guess that old saying, misery loves company. I can't make them believe what I feel and what I see. But when they ask these questions, there are questions that don't need to be asked. For example, why are you happy all the time? Why are you not happy? Is the question I want to ask them. But instead, I just say, hey, man, it's a personal choice. But see, what they don't understand is I work extremely hard at being happy. I go out of my way to make up reasons to be happy. I don't care if it's 30 below wind chill factor or if it's 110. I'm going to find something to laugh about and be positive so that I can attack that day.
Dude, that's amazing, because I'm a true believer. There's always a silver lining no matter what.
Absolutely.
Now, I will readily acknowledge sometimes you got to look for that silver lining. Sometimes the silver lining actually turns out to be greater than whatever it was that was frustrating you. Sometimes not. Yeah. But I have found it does not matter. There's always something. And during the break, we were talking about, like, for you, and not just for you, for everybody, for me too, it's a choice.
Yes.
And I told you something. I'm not a morning person. I wake up pissed. Like, this show is at 11. I couldn't do the 6 to 9. I'm sorry, man. Like, if you need someone to fill in, that's why they grab Farley. Plus, he's just better. But I'm just like, I'm not a morning person. I hated morning practices. If it was a morning baseball or basketball game, like 11 a.m. football games, that was pushing it for me. I just wake up pissed off at the world. But I have this wife, and she's like, Adam, it's a mindset.
Right.
It's a mindset. You can choose to be happy or not. So you're not saying everything's a valley full of daisies and roses.
No,
what you're
no.
saying is there's some work, but if you just put a little effort into it, it becomes not that as hard to do as you might think, and life's more enjoyable. Is that kind of what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying, because to me, and just like I said, a lot of these things I share with you is just my point of view. I don't encourage people to live like I live, but I'll give you an example. I know it wouldn't work for you because of what you just said.
Oh, boy.
Every morning for the last 16 years, I wake up at 3 a.m. You know, and I have a certain routine that I do. And then I mentor about 15 people. So I check in with all my mentees. Usually by right after that, you know, I do a set of spiritual readings, turn my life over to God. I drink coffee out of a prison mug. These are things that lay the foundation for my day. Actually, by daybreak, I actually need a nap because I've been up so long and I've been reaching out to people. But what I'm trying to say to you is it's a choice. It is a mindset. And, you know, if a person wants to be unhappy, man, then, you know, that's probably what they're going to be. I've already been there and done that, you know, and I mean, after 25 years of active addiction, I'm kind of tired of being unhappy.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I know that feeling, but I love this feeling of being happy and being positive. I'm not saying I don't have the same concerns that everybody else has. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying how I deal with it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's different for me because sometimes, man, in a moment of unhappiness, you can make some bad decisions that carry on for a long time.
A lot of truth in that. So where we lived previously, I knew an individual who would get up at 4 o'clock every morning. Now, he loves swimming. He was a swim coach. He was a collegiate swimmer. And there was a local lake there. He would get up, put on a bodysuit. This was Colorado. This was, unless the lake was frozen over, he would go and he'd swim that lake every morning at 4 a.m. Wow. And he went to bed at 8. So my question for you is, what time do you go to bed if you're getting up at 3?
I usually go to bed at 6 unless I have a appointment or an engagement.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't care if it doesn't get dark till 9 o'clock. In my basement, it's dark right now.
I got you.
You know, so I usually try to. I'm not a big TV guy, but I do watch movies. So I got a lot of the streaming services. So I put on a movie. A lot of times I watch movies I've already seen before because I know I'm gonna be asleep shortly anyway. So, but no, it's just a lifestyle that I've embraced, like I said, over 16 years ago, and it's working for me.
That's awesome.
I don't encourage it for anyone else because everybody has to find their own way. And I forgot to share this part, but when I got the letter from Coach Osborne and I turned my life over to Christ, I got off my knees and wrote down 3 things I'd like to share it with your audience. The first one is PMA, short for positive mental attitude. It's basically as simple as treating people the way you want to be treated. But the key for me is I don't expect it in return. So you can't let me down. You know, if I'm saying, hey, Adam, how you doing? And you ignore me, I just walk by and say to myself, man, it sure sucked to be Adam. You know, and keep going.
I've never done that, to be clear, but go ahead.
You know, and then, you know, the second thing is a plan. You know, you always got to have a plan. I think that's very important. And the third and final thing is you have to have motivation for the first 2. And I personally choose to call them haters. Those are the people that doubt that you're serious about what you're doing, and the people that don't believe in you. They're extra motivation for me.
All right. So Jake came up with a new nickname for himself.
What? what?
It's Bad News Bach.
Bad News
So
Bach.
what advice do you have for Bad News Bach, Ricky?
Hey, Bad News Bach. I actually like that. I mean, it's got a nice ring to it. And plus, Jake's my producer, too. So you're not going to get me to say nothing bad.
I got you.
But I will say this, man. I just think it's catchy.
It is catchy.
Yeah, it is very catchy. So I see you doing big things, Jake. I ain't a hater. I'm a congratulator.
I like it. All right, last question I got for you. You have, as we mentioned earlier, Get Your Happy On Hour show here on the Ticket Sunday nights. What is that time? And you're having a special guest here. Is this Sunday?
Yes, this coming Sunday.
Go ahead and talk about it.
It's actually 8 to 9 every Sunday night. Last week, I was very fortunate to have Steve Sipple as a guest, and that was really, really fun. Steve's a very good friend, and he supported me a long time. I would say back in like 2012, 2013, when I was just really getting started. I had only been in recovery for a couple of years, and Steve believed in me and did a nice article on me. But this coming Sunday night, I got Jason Peter, and I'm very excited about that because I know we've had similar paths, and we're going to try to encourage some people, inspire some people with some just down-home honesty.
Dude, I've got to make sure I tune in for that. I can only imagine what that conversation is going to be like.
Yeah.
So, folks, tune in this Sunday night here on the Ticket, 8 to 9 p.m. Central Time. Thank you for joining me, my man.
Well, thank you for having me. And Bad News, Bob. Hey, man, I like it. I like it, Bob.
All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
You're looking for a forecast for today. We'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds. An afternoon high around 88. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, the low near 67. And tomorrow, a chance of showers and storms arriving in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly sunny skies with light winds and a high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker from 93.7 Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Hi, I'm Casey Oddie, and I'm the Retail Banking Manager at your local Midwest Bank branch on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Banking may be my job, but supporting the community is what I care most about. Whether I'm showing up at local events, partnering with schools, or helping people reach financial milestones, I am proud to be a part of what makes Lincoln strong. Let's build something together. Stop by and say hi. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
If the power is out, keep your fridge and freezer closed. Perishable food lasts 4 hours in the fridge, and frozen food lasts up to 2 days if it stays below 40 degrees. See more tips at les.com/safety.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Hey there, this is Paul Shield, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Jake, I walk in here around 11 a.m. What would you say my demeanor typically is? Like, truthfully, I didn't even tell you I was going to ask you this on air. Truthfully, what is my demeanor? Because 11 a.m. is technically still in the morning. Early afternoon, maybe.
Yeah, I would say sometimes you might come in a little groggy, put it that way.
But it's funny because as soon as the glass shatters, that's usually about the time, because for some reason I can't do it before. I put the headphones on at that point. I pull the microphone in front of my face. Today I didn't have my daily battle with the mic. It just went right into place, and it's stayed ever since. But then I'm just like, bam, a switch just flips, kind of like when I used to step on the football field, although this is a much happier switch than that switch was. And, dude, it's like literally the time of the day when I know I'm going to be fully awake. It's amazing how that works. Would you co-sign on that, or am I full of hot air?
No, I think you're about right. I mean, for the most part, I'm the same way. 11 a.m. for some reason, I mean, it's late for a lot of people, but for me, that's kind of when I start, even if I'm awake, the hours previously, I can start actually waking up closer to 11.
Have you ever thought about the early break guys? Like, your show goes at 6. So do you prep late the night before? What if it's a late baseball game? What if it's a Thursday night football game? You got a Friday morning show. Like, when do you prep? Do you prep before you go to bed? Do you prep after you wake up? Do you prep during the show? Like, they don't prep during the show. How does that work? The show starts at 6. You're not getting up at 5:59. Like, what time? Dude, have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I've actually subbed in and done it a few times.
Ooh, how was it?
You got to be, you can't wake up at 6, like you said. You got to be ready to go earlier. I know Sorensen usually will prepare the show the kind of throughout the day before. But then obviously, like you said, there are different things that might happen that night, or topical things you got to discuss. So you just kind of got to keep your head on a swivel for what's going on.
Yeah. And then what if you're like Sorensen and you got kids and the baby maybe isn't sleeping through the night? You kind of nudge. I don't know. Does he nudge the wife? Does he ever get up? We should ask Sorensen about all these questions. All right. We got a couple minutes here before we take a break. Come back for hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show. We're going to get into Marcus Satterfield's press conference. He had some very interesting things to say about Haarberg. We got a clip there that we'll play at the top of the hour. All right. Here's what Sat had to say. Haarberg is moving really well. He is a completely different tight end from the spring till now. Dude, when he said that stuck out to me. Not just me, but it stuck out to me so much. Looking forward to seeing what he does this season. Is getting more confidence confidence, and physical. The game plan won't slow him down. And he talked about specifically like blocking and engaging and like, I forget the exact terminology he used about putting your head in there. You know, you don't want to duck your head because that's bad technique. But in other words, like he was a quarterback before. Like you don't do a ton of blocking at the quarterback position, as we all know. So there's going to be a process. Even if you're a strong kid, a big kid, and a kid with a physical mindset, there's still a process to learning to actually do it. And it sounds like he's just getting better and better. This is a kid with Sunday type physical tools. He's always been a kid with Sunday type physical tools, just a football player. How do you utilize it? How do you take advantage of his skill set? I know he's a tight end. I know they're going to do 12 personnel. What else do we do? Do we put him at running back? Do we do any wildcat quarterback with him? It's obvious this year if he's on the field and you want to run a trick play. Like, there's different things that they can do, and I'm excited to see what they are. We got to go to break, don't we?
Yeah, fairly soon.
All right, we got plenty to talk about. See you fine folks in hour 2.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
Hey fans, there's more winning at Amigos with the VIP Game Day giveaway. Every app scan is your chance to win premium tickets to a Nebraska football, basketball, and volleyball game, along with exclusive game day perks. And when Nebraska goes to a bowl, the winner also gets 2 tickets, lodging, and airfare to the bowl game. Weekly semifinalists will win free food for a year. Go Big Red. Eat at Amigos and enter to win.
Amigos is celebrating 45 years with exclusive Nebraska Legends collectible cups featuring Tom Osborne, John Cook, and some of your favorite Huskers. For every cup sold, 50 cents goes to teammates. Show your Big Red pride by getting all 4 of these collectible cups at Amigos.
This is Tom Osborne with the Teammates Mentoring Program. We have students on the waiting list for a mentor. We want you to join the team. Learn more about mentoring and support teammates by visiting Amigos.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Sometimes it's hard to know if substance use is becoming a problem, especially when it becomes part of daily life or social routines. Take the free assessment, Is Your Substance Use Harmful, at myhealthymind.credibleminde.com so you can understand your risk. You can take the assessment anonymously. In just minutes, you'll get practical, non-judgmental guidance and resources to support your health and well-being. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Go hog wild, pit barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at gohogwild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Old school with Foreman and Orman.
Any tips for a dad who just volunteered to be a YMCA flag football coach less than a week before the season started because no one else had volunteered to coach the fifth graders up to that point?
Tylenol for your headache.
Put some in your cup. Put some in your cup, and make sure your contract is 1 year only.
Medicate, bro.
Frank Reich. Frank Reich at Stanford.
Yep.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
It's the noon hour, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means? Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show, and it's brought to you by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue. Now with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Look, both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2, again, right by Lowe's. And we will be do we know our next on-location day?
I'm not sure when that will be.
Jake Sorensen's too busy dealing with babies at night and doing his show in the morning. He can't get us that next on-location day. Is that what's going on here, Jake?
I think that's probably it, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything to do. We will be doing on-locations. The next one will be coming up soon. We'll get that date out to you fine folks shortly. All right, so we're going to keep going through the Marcus Satterfield press conference here in the notes, but let's go ahead and let's basically roll the clip of what I just kind of talked about of him talking about Heinrich Haarberg.
Heinrich, from spring to now, is a total different tight end. You know, I'm really proud of the steps that he's taken from the spring to the summer camp, from week 1 to week 2, from week 2 to week 3. He's working at it. He's getting more comfortable playing the physical nature of the position, and look forward to seeing what he does this season moving forward, because he's just going to keep getting better and better. He's got a lot of upside. Just the confidence, puts his face in the block now, where he was a quarterback, so he's never done that. So just learning how to put his face in the block, just being in a box with 8 huge, large human beings, getting hit every play at different places, falling on each other. So it's just a different world. It's a total different game than playing quarterback. And I think he's getting more confident in that role. He's getting more physical. I think the understanding of football and the time and spacing helps him from being, going from quarterback to tight end. So he's had a really good camp so far.
It is a different world. As a guy who played high school quarterback and then played in the trenches afterwards, it is a completely different world. I'm not surprised that he seems to be adapting to it quickly, though. If you watched him play quarterback, I literally felt like he sought out the defender to try to run them over at times. If you remember a couple years ago when he was doing the read option, a couple of long runs, I think he surprised people with his long distance top end speed, but then the physicality and, dare I say, the veracity they ran with. So taking that mindset into blocking isn't hard. Taking that mindset and learning the technique of blocking is a little bit different and just takes a process of getting used to it. It sounds like it's happening for him. All right. Talking about, you got any thoughts there real quick or anything off the text line before we move forward, Jake?
Nothing from the text line, but yeah, I mean, I just to hear that the strides that, he's making those strides, he's such an interesting just tight end prospect, whatever you want to call it, because I think it could go on throughout the year that he obviously continues to take those steps forward.
Next Taysom Hill?
Yeah, let's write it down in Sharpie. Absolutely.
I like it. I wasn't being facetious, man.
Well, no, but I mean,
I was being serious. First of all, acknowledge the word facetious. Always fun to say. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, it's just, remember, Matt Rule did kind of say, even when they're talking about their faint punts or punting team, that he might, or a former quarterback might be out there. I mean, so I think they're ready for some, to use him in some Taysom Hill's ways.
You don't think he was talking about TJ Lateef being on the punt team?
I don't.
Jalen Gromstad, Dylan?
I'd be surprised.
Or he said former quarterback.
Yeah.
I guess that gives it away. All right, like we didn't already know. Okay, Luke Lindenmeyer can do anything. I'm going to read this slow. Best pad level he has ever coached. I love the weight room when I played, and I always felt like, hey, the stronger I am, the faster I am, the bigger I am. As long as I'm moving well or, getting faster in the process, I can obviously play with those strengths. Another way to do that, and something you learn as you get older in the NFL, because there becomes a certain point in the weight room where less becomes more because you're older, your body is beat up. I'm playing with guys like London Fletcher and Leonard Little, guys who've been in the league for, anywhere from 13 to 15 years. How do you play stronger? How do you play faster? Better technique. You can become instantly stronger with better pad level. Now, better pad level is easier said than done, or everybody would just do it right out the gate. There's a process to it, and it's not easy. To hear he's playing with the best pad level Sat's ever seen could attribute as to why he seems to be the clear-cut starting tight end in a room full of guys that are loaded with a ton of talent. All right. Oh, back to Haarberg real quick. Heinrich is straight speed and understands the game better than most do. I guarantee playing quarterback helped him with that. Talking about Carter Nelson is a super athlete, big and explosive. I mean, I'll never forget handing the ball to him at the goal line versus Purdue. You pick a true freshman tight end to do that with? Why? Because he's a freaking athlete who can jump. That's why. It's not like they just pulled a rabbit out of a hat or a random piece of paper with a name on it and a bunch of papers in that hat, and they drew his name out. No, they picked him out of everyone on the entire team to do it for a reason. Expects Carter Nelson to start making big leaps in the next couple of weeks. There is a three-way tie for the four-string tight end right now. Mac Markway is still around, helping guys. Now, I guess he was asked about tight end U, or that's been brought up to him. Says the tight end U is attainable, but won't happen in a year. All right, in 1 year. You got any thoughts there before we kind of move on, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to be the bad news guy here, but then it's not bad news in general. It just always strikes me how often this staff is just so, praising everybody, the best pad level. I mean, Coach Sat's coached for a long time. If you say among the best pad level, he's playing with some of the best pad level, but, that's a lot of praise for a guy who was, and not saying it's undeserved, but it's a guy that, didn't, what was third string tight end last year? And now all of a sudden he's got the best pad level you've ever seen. I mean, but I don't know. It's just a lot. It's all, and then the super athlete. I mean, there's just always, it's just a lot of praise. And so I don't doubt it. I think we've talked about it before. I think it's, they hear enough negativity around, a program and what they don't do. And to get it there, it's just, whenever I hear something like that, it's just, I always have to I'm not as excited as when other coaching staffs had said, major praise about certain guys, because it wasn't so often.
So, I mean, you make some points. It's been talked about that Justin Evans could win the Remington Trophy. The offensive line is good enough to win the Joe Moorhead Award, has been said. I think that was by Spindler. At one point early in the offseason, February, March, the wide receivers are elite. We're going to have one of the best D-lines around. Some of the things that you mentioned, best pad level you've ever seen, super athlete. Okay. So when you hear these things, I think it's easier to take with a much smaller grain of salt if the recent success on the field had been more what everybody's looking for. But there's been times when you come into a season, you hear things, you buy in, there's legit reasons to believe it, and it just doesn't happen on the field. Now, national pundits are not putting Nebraska in their preseason college football playoff bracket just for fun. Like, there's something to it. Now, does that mean Nebraska's going to be an automatic playoff team? No, by God, it does not mean that. All right, I recently predicted Nebraska to go 9-3, and I felt great about that. Guess what? 9-3 does not put us in the playoffs. We'd have to have a much tougher schedule for 9-3 to do so. We go 10-2, we're in that conversation. So I completely understand what you're saying. I think everyone, there's reasons for optimism. There's reasons for excitement. I called it in a show the other day, positivity over hype. All right, because there's a difference. I think there's a reason for positivity and legit positivity and optimism. Hype is something that's got to be earned through consistent wins over time, consecutively on the field. And so to me, that's a little bit of the difference. That's not a negative. I know Terrell Farley has talked with us about it. I've said it before. You've said it. We're all in on the positivity. We see why a lot of national guys have high expectations for this team. We just want to see it on the field. We want to see what we look like versus Cincinnati. And what I fully expect versus Cincinnati, I expect some ugly football from us and them because there's a whole lot of new and it's the first game. You're going to get that. There may be some more penalties than there would be in game 4. There may be some more turnovers, maybe a little bit of sloppy play. We don't get a preseason. You don't get 4, and now NFL teams get 3 preseason games. You don't get that. So your preseason is your game 1. That doesn't mean, oh my gosh, a bunch of negativity. No, it just means it's game 1. What I also expect to see, I expect to see a fast attacking defense. I expect to see an improved offensive line, an efficient quarterback, a better wide receiver core blocking and getting open and beating DBs one-on-one. I expect to see our best running back starting and a guy who's been, in my opinion, probably our best running back for 3 straight years, getting the rock 20 times, however that looks, carries, passes out of the backfield. And then what you want to see is who are the starting tackles, some of the question marks. It seems like Janier and Bonner has stepped up as that 3rd or 4th wide receiver. How good are the wide receivers? Because we expect them to be good. How much has Dylan Raiola improved? What does Mekhi Nelson, an explosive back, what does he look like? Where's Quentin Ives at that point? Who else has stepped up potentially, whether it's Mosey or someone else at that point? The defense, all right? Is it this similar when it comes to how good we actually are as the past couple years? Is it worse? Is it better? That's what I want to see, and that's why you look at the athletes on defense. This is as athletic as we've been in a decade. I'm just going to say it. Offensively, this is as excited. Every year, Husk guys on Twitter puts out, the quarterback, running back, offensive line, tight end, and it's all these stars. They do a great job with their account. It's all these stars next to them, and I just I'm like, okay. This year I look at it, and I think it hits me different because Dane Key is a proven player. And Isaiah Hunter led Cal in multiple wide receiving categories a year ago. Ja'Cory Barney is one of the best all-around players in the country. We have accomplished linemen more than we've ever had before. Still, who's going to start at tackle? We have an experienced quarterback. We have a proven running back. We have more proven things than we've had in the past versus a guy's name and a bunch of stars next to him that isn't quite proven yet. And to me, that's why I feel good. I still just want to see how it all comes together. Thoughts, Jake?
Yeah, I thought, Sean Callahan did an interview with Early Break yesterday. I thought he put it pretty well when they're kind of asking about kind of the duality of the expectations for Nebraska, is that you're having national pundits pick Nebraska to make the playoff, as you were saying. But at the same time, you look at their preseason poll and they're not there.
Yes.
So it's really interesting because everybody can see the potential. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of, are you really going to go out on a limb and put them in your top 15 if you think they're a playoff team? And I think part of it's the schedule and as he put it, kind of looking for the next Indiana here. But it's just interesting that you can do both those things.
I think the thing that's exciting and terrifying about the Huskers is we have a high ceiling and a potentially low floor. That's the thing that makes people excited and nervous all at the same time. Like, you look at other teams around the league, like, who knows what Michigan's going to be with a true freshman quarterback and their coach gone a couple of games, but like their floor is like 8-4. I mean, I'm thinking like they won more games than that last year, and they pretty much had no quarterback play at all, with all due respect. They won more games than that last year. So like their absolute floor is 8-4. They also have the potential to go 10-2, 11-1. We have the potential to go 10-2, 11-1. We also have a floor that is, shall I say, lower than 8-4. And I think that's what makes Nebraska intriguing, exciting, and terrifying as a fan, all at the same time. Is there anything off the text line there, Jake?
Yeah, Colton Jay just says, I'm with Jake on this, so we need to win games and stop talking about how good we are. Just show it on the field. I think everybody's looking forward to actually getting on the field.
I think so. Let's play this clip. Now, this is, again, College Football with Sam off of YouTube. He's talking about, now he has no ties to Nebraska. He's just I think he's got about 24,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he's just a national, I don't want to say national, but he has no ties to Nebraska football. He talks about general college football across the nation. But this was actually sent to me by a friend of mine named Jeff Duda, and he goes, check this out. And so I thought it was interesting. He's talking about our offensive line. Go ahead and roll that clip there, Jake.
Nebraska's offensive line is going to be a unit that takes big steps forward and is going to punish opposing defenses this year. This is a unit that will make defenses eat corn.
Oh, pause it. I'm sorry. Pause it.
Offensive line.
I didn't warn you that we were going to pause it, but I just heard the line again. They're going to make defensive units eat corn. Well, when do you hear that? What do you think, Jake?
I suppose that's what you want, a mean offensive line, obviously playing with the Cornhusker tie.
Oh, man. I love that line. Go ahead.
The Nebraska Cornhusker offensive line. They will take pieces of corn and they will make you eat them. They will make you eat all of it. Not just the good parts, not just that, but the leftovers. They will make you uncomfortable. They will stuff you full. They will shove you down and they will push you around. And I know that there's a lot of emotion in that statement and there's a lot of hype, but I am a believer in this offensive line. And I have, I believe, evidence to back that up. So therefore, it's not just an emotional take. I think a lot of this is centered in reality.
So to be clear, when I was chuckling, I'm not chuckling at the offensive line. I'm chuckling at the analogy that he's choosing to use, which is highly entertaining, which is why the clip stuck out to me. All right. I'm curious what people on the text line have to say. As always, you feel free to text in your thoughts, your responses to that. In the meantime, what's your reaction to that, Jake?
Yeah, Bill Bennett already says that just gave me chills. So he already enjoyed it. I'm interested. I mean, obviously, like you said, I mean, the corn stuff's always fun to kind of play with, and in the way that he used that there was pretty fun. I'll say I'm a lot more wait and see on the offensive line. I think that the Donovan Raiola going into year 4, obviously, the longer you have, a coach in place, the more continuity you have there is good news. But I'm still waiting for the breakout season for the offensive line under Coach Raiola. I don't think we've seen that yet. And I think you've got some solid pieces in play here. But a lot of it similar. I mean, with Pritchett, obviously it's kind of similar to Nebraska. Like you said, very high ceiling, but maybe kind of, if he doesn't take the steps forward, we won't, maybe I'll just put it this way, is maybe get more NIL than what he might deserve at the end of it. But we'll see. I mean, that's partially the high ceiling. And so I think a lot of it is there, Rocco Spindler with the offseason additions that they made. Solid. But I wait till again and wait and see. It's easy to predict it once you see it happening, but I don't necessarily know if you go through preseason, all Big Ten, first, second, third team, you don't see a whole lot of Nebraska names in there, and it's because they still have to prove it.
No, you're absolutely right. And this offensive line, it's going to come and go with the tackle spot, in my opinion. I think that the interior offensive line is solid. We've been talking about this since frickin' Spindler and Pritchett signed with us. And then we knew Gatula was coming back, and Prohaska and Corcoran. And so this is not new. It's still what we've been saying basically since January when it comes to the offensive line. Feel good about the interior guys. The tackles like you just mentioned. High ceiling, what is the floor? Does that concern you? But there's a lot of guys competing for those jobs. So you would like to think that whoever ends up winning that job, and maybe they do some sort of a rotation the first few games, try to figure out who's going to take it to the game from practice. You would like to think that they would be able to find some solid guys there. They've definitely got talented guys. I've said it before. Pritchett, Sunday talent. Gatula, Sunday talent. Really like his future. All right, who's going to step up this year? Hard not to root for a guy like Prohaska. Corcoran, the guy who has started a lot of games, highly recruited, coming back from injury, battling. I mean, honestly, if those two guys wanted, they could probably make things a lot harder, Prohaska and Corcoran, but they've not done that. So kudos to them. And I don't want to leave anybody out. So Tyler Canuck is the guy who's obviously in this conversation. So the offensive line is going to come and go. I don't want to say come and go. They're going to be as good as they are or are not based on how the tackles play. That's how I feel. Fair? What say you?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And they said, too, I mean, they're going to start the 2 tackles. I mean, that battle's coming down. So you at least feel good that they've got depth there in options if somebody's particularly struggling with a matchup that day. So, that does make you feel good. And then another reason, again, you can kind of do the ups and downs of kind of where you feel coming in. But what I like to hear is you, among others, you're a pretty big guy yourself, is just say how big the offensive line is, maybe compared to previous years. And again, that tells more into kind of the system, developing these guys. And then also just, the level of athlete that they're bringing in there. And big doesn't always translate to good. Obviously you can see that over the years, but that does feel good when you can go across that line and say, hey, because you do this for opponents at times. You go, man, they're all like 6'4", 325 in Nebraska. I mean, they average pretty close to that.
Yeah, we definitely have a big line. There's no doubt about it. Now, admittedly, we had some guys on the line, and they're back again this year who are 6'9", 6'10". So like you said, how does that equate to the actual field? Are they a year more developed, a year more improved? Are we a year better along the front? Is there anything from the text line before we go to break, Jake?
Railroader Matt says, listen, I love the hype. I love that this gets me fired up, but it's some of the same talk we've heard every year, and every year this team has disappointed us. Until they prove otherwise on the field, my thoughts will stay, yeah, right, and chuckle. So there you go.
I get it. You're not the only one that feels that way. It's a large part of the reason I'm like, wait and see. We got to see what actually happens on that field. I think one thing that's always in the back of my mind is, do I just think Nebraska is never going to win more than 7 games again? Like, I'm 41. If I live to 82, it's another 41 years. Do I just believe for the next 41 years, Nebraska is never going to win more than 7 games? No, I don't believe that. I believe at some point we're going to win 8, 9, 10 games again. So we just don't know when. So I always come into every year, not always, it depends on how I actually feel about the team, but I come into a year like this where you look at the team, you're like top 5 transfer portal class, some of the best coordinators in the entire country, Matt Rule, year 3, returning starting quarterback. I mean, there's some things that are there. It doesn't guarantee a freaking thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't guarantee anything. But I'm like, I believe there's going to be a year where we get 9 or more wins. This could be that year. Or I'm just going to be a fan of a team that I don't believe is ever going to win more than 7 games, and that's not what I believe. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Nebraska, I completely agree with that sentiment. Nebraska cares too much. There's too much, put into this program for it to stay forever down. And again, I go back to it. This is the year to believe. I mean, this has been the year. When you hired Matt Rule, what did we all circle? Year 3. That's when he makes his jump. Well, here we are. So, it's time to get on board. You might have your reasons to kind of stay hesitant, and you've had your heart broken before. Listen, we've all been there. But like you're saying, at some time, this all the hope and the hype will live up to it, and we can all. I mean, we'll all be throwing a parade in Lincoln, basically.
I think what helps me is my barometer for success. If you just there's more that goes into a barometer for success. But if you just say, Adam, wins and losses, what's your barometer for success? It's not a college football playoff appearance, despite some of these predictions from national pundits. It's not 9 wins, which, again, I've said before, we have fired 9-win coaches now. That's when Husker fans are going to be like, all right, we got 9 wins, we're back. For me, my barometer for success this year is I want us to go in the right way. Keep going in the right direction. What's the right direction? 8 wins. That is very attainable, and I think that helps me. If my barometer for success was 9, 10 wins, college football playoff, I'd be a lot more nervous. It's 8 wins or more. Now, I predicted 9, and I'm going to stick with that prediction, but I think that helps me too. All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We shall return.
Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Sometimes it's hard to know if substance use is becoming a problem, especially when it becomes part of daily life or social routines. Take the free assessment, Is Your Substance Use Harmful, at myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can understand your risk. You can take the assessment anonymously. In just minutes, you'll get practical, non-judgmental guidance and resources to support your health and well-being. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Harvest season is coming, and Acres has discounted many of our late model John Deere combines. Get thousands in discounts and upgrade for this year's harvest. Plus, you could save even more with interest rates starting as low as 1.9% on select units. Low interest rates combined with our huge discounts, there's not a better time to buy. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer ends August 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
No cravings, no hunger pains, no struggle. Thanks to GLP-1s from Limitless Mayo, weight loss is possible. Picture this. Your clothes fit better, your energy's up, your doctor's impressed, and your friends start noticing. Limitless Mayo's GLP-1 program is medically monitored and changing men's lives. There's no better time than now to get on board. Lose the weight, better your health, gain your confidence without being hungry. Free consult at limitlessmail.com.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. With the school year here, A1 Automotive reminds you that college students get 10% off any service, and they offer free tire repair with a valid college ID. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive or downtown at 11th and L.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovbneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
This is the Adam Carriker. You're listening to the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody doesn't like the wait and see approach. What's his name? Her name? Their name?
Angry Rams fan.
Oh, well, you're angry to begin with. Angry is a choice, my friend. I mean, I would love to be declarative. That this is what we're going to see, and this is what's going to happen. That would be a lie. I mean, we don't know. We have an idea. We have an expectation. We have question marks. We know what we feel good about. We know what we don't. And that's all we can speak on. When we actually see things, then we can be more declarative. Those are just my thoughts. Do you have the Nick Saban, or well, is there anything else off the text line?
No. That's it.
Oh, you got that Nick Saban clip where he defines toughness. And basically, in his opinion, toughness is what does it take to break you? Go ahead, Jake.
I think something that everybody's got to realize that's a little bit different now is we've kind of raised the bar in college football. We've raised the bar in the SEC in terms of what we've accomplished and what we do. And everybody's chasing us. I mean, just look at all the teams that we play that have coaches that have been here in leadership roles, whether it's Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Oregon, Auburn's defensive coordinator, all over the league, everybody that we play. People are hiring people from this organization to try to figure out what we do. All right, so what we do is important, but how we do what we do becomes more and more important. And that's for every guy here in terms of how we do what we do. All right, we got to do it better. So our goal is to have the kind of team that nobody wants to play. And that means that we have to impose our will to dominate the competition all the time. So what does that take? All right, the first thing you have to do is you have to have toughness. All right, you got to be tougher than everybody that we play. All right, but, you know, I've never stood up here in all the time that I've been here and ever really defined toughness for you. The way I'm going to define toughness to you, because I'm talking about mental toughness, and I think everybody can relate to it, is it's all about what does it take to break you. And the reason I come to this is we had to put hurricane windows in our house in Florida on the beach. All right, so I asked the guy, how do you figure out that these windows are better than those windows? What does it take to break them? All right, so if you really think about toughness and mental toughness, what does it take to break you? I don't care what circumstance you're faced with. What does it take to break your focus because you get frustrated about what happened on the last play? What does it take to make you give in because it's hot outside, or you're tired, or you don't feel like running to the ball or giving effort or finishing the play like you should because of how you feel, whether you're a little bit hurt? What does it take to break you? I'm not saying it's our goal to try to break you. It's just the way it is in football. When you go through camp, it's going to be difficult because you're getting yourself ready to play an entire season at a high level. So everybody here has got to have a lot of mental toughness to be able to sustain what we do at a high level. And just because you got beat on the last play, that can't affect your next play. All right, or that's breaking you. Your frustration is breaking you just because you miss a block, or you get blocked, or you miss a tackle, or you fumble the ball. What does it take to break you?
So I should have specified before the clip. This was while he was still the coach at Alabama. He's talking to them at the beginning of their fall camp. So just so we kind of get caught up, he's talking to his team and he's explaining to them how he defines toughness, what does it take to break you. Basically, we're about to put you through hell called fall camp and get your butts ready for it. So I got to ask Jake, are you a hurricane window or are you a regular window? How tough are you, Jake? Bad news, Bach.
Probably just a regular window.
He's just I'm a regular window. That hurricane's destroying me. I thought that was a phenomenal way of defining toughness. Like, what does it take to break you? I'll never forget when I was playing at Nebraska, our head coach asked the strength coach, Dave Kennedy, who we had on last fall. I'll try to get him again this fall during football season. How do you define toughness or physicality? How do you define physicality? Coach K, as we called him, said, what happens at the point of contact? Like, who knocks the other person backwards? That's how he defined physicality. That's obviously always stuck with me. Because sometimes physicality can be, there's crossover with toughness, but it can be confused with toughness. Toughness, like if you're not a physical player, you might get knocked on your butt 1,000 times. Toughness is getting up 1,001. You might not be the most physical player, but you're a tough player. Does that make sense, Jake? The difference there?
Yeah, I can see that.
So you got to have physicality, but you've also got to have toughness. And one of the reasons that clip stuck out to me, other than I thought it was a great way of defining toughness, was at some point this season, Nebraska's going to get hit in the mouth. Like somebody's going to come out with the game plan and take an early lead at some point. 12 games, a lot of talented teams, good coach teams. They're lifting weights. They're watching film. At some point, somebody's going to make a run in the game. At some point, the ball's not going to bounce our way. At some point, we're not going to get a call that we love. And how do you respond? And if it continues to go that way, how do you respond? What does it take to break your will in the middle of a game? Now, it was interesting. He was talking to them at the start of fall camp. And fall camp, and I do think this was back when they could do the 2-1-2-1, which is 2-a-days, 1 day, 1 practice, 2-a-days, 1 day. When I first started at Nebraska, it was 2 practices. Now there are no 2-a-days. There's different ways to develop toughness. But, I mean, I remember decades ago, some teams would do 3-a-days for a while. Remember the Titans? They did 3-a-days when they got in trouble. Of course, that's a movie. But who's to say it wasn't real? At some point, something's not going to go our way. Probably at multiple points this year, because that's how football works. How do you respond? Is there toughness? Do you fight back? What does it take to break you? I just imagine a window. Is it still rocking solid, or is that hurricane breaking through? And going into fall camp, that is always in my opinion, was always the toughest time of the football season. Spring ball, there were certain things, winter conditioning, especially the early morning. Y'all know I'm a wonderful early morning person. I love it. With the early morning workouts and summer conditioning. Oddly enough, as much of a not morning person as I am, we always had two options when we could work out. 7 a.m. I think the other one was at 1. One time in 4 years, I went to the 1 o'clock workout, and that's because I had a class conflict at some random point for my accounting class. I always chose the 7 a.m. one. Part of it was, it's a lot hotter at 1. Part of it was I like getting things done early in the day. I don't like I like working out, but I don't like looking forward to 100 degrees on the turf and things of that nature. So I would always get up and go to the 7 a.m. meeting. But fall camp, with the Huskers, camp just closed. They've still got more practices before Cincinnati. This is, throughout the entire offseason, you're setting the culture. But a lot of the toughness is formed in these fall camp days. Remember when it was like 100? When it was like 94? There was a scrimmage where Nebraska ran 110 plays on a 94-degree day with insane humidity, just within the past week or two. Like, you've obviously got to be smart, but there's a level of toughness that you're building in that. What are your thoughts on all this, Jake? And what's a level of toughness that, and don't say I want to wait and see, that texter doesn't want to hear this. What's the level of toughness that you expect to see from the Huskers this year?
Well, to be fair to that texter too, they said that that text was directed towards more the fans than pundits and talking heads. So
well, then it's okay.
Yeah,
then it's okay.
He
wasn't calling us out.
So I'll
it's
just
okay
wait
now.
and see. No, but it is. I mean, it is interesting, and I love to kind of get those fall camp stories. And you know, and you hear it from just about everybody. You kind of get tired of hitting each other by the end of it, and then sometimes it can start to get frustrating, and maybe a little bit more fights picking up toward the end, all that sort of stuff. So it's something that it's a grueling process. It's not the most exciting part, obviously, of the season. But it is, hopefully you're forming, that bond together and through toughness and kind of building that as well. And as we know, I mean, that's, you're going to be tested, but your toughness is going to be tested, and you don't have to wait till midseason. Of course, that'll happen. It'll be more, it'll kind of weigh on you and stack up over the years, or over the games. But from week one, your toughness will be tested. So, it's cool to kind of hear that. I like to hear, especially, I mean, I listen to Nick Saban, obviously one of the best of all time, to do it, to kind of talk to his team and how he approached it. And it's also interesting, because you kind of think about Saban and where they are now, and where the Huskers once were, right? Where, he was kind of going at the beginning of that, like, everybody's taking our players, trying to copy us, approach from us. And so we got to elevate it up to another level. And that's what, Matt Rule has said too, is, there are things that normal, maybe a team would take this day off or not do this in practice. But he says, you know what, we're behind some teams right now. So we got to do the additional to make up for that.
No, that makes a ton of sense. And I talked about this a few weeks ago. But one thing that encourages me. All right, before I go into that, let me just throw this out there in the universe, and then you can assassinate me for it, okay? What if we lose to Cincinnati? How does the team respond? I don't expect us to. But what if we do? What happens then? Does the bubble just burst? What do we do the rest of the 11 games? And the reason I bring that up, again, not to give it away, I believe we're going to beat Cincinnati. We will do more recon and dive into that a little bit more as we get closer to the game, which is a week from today, by the way. How exciting is that?
That's awesome.
The thing, and I mentioned this before, that gives me legit confidence in the toughness of Matt Rule's team so far here at Nebraska. I mean, technically, Matt Rule's under 500 right now. His record at Nebraska is under 500. But I would say arguably the two toughest losses that we've experienced while he was here was Indiana last year. What did that team do the very next week? They went to Columbus, and a team that destroyed everybody else in the college football playoff. They were ahead with 7 minutes to go and had a very real shot to win that game. They responded, is my point. His first year, the Michigan game. Now, again, these are two teams that won the national championship, but Matt Rule was so upset. Instead of coming in for, let's watch film, let's lift, let's do a light run, get the soreness out. No, we're going to practice on Sunday. To this day, I still don't think I've ever heard of that before. The day after a game, full padded scrimmage. It was a scrimmage, wasn't it? He's like, if you're not going to play yesterday, you're going to play today. That was such a risky thing to do, because you remember that was a short week. That was at Illinois on a Friday night. So you got to travel, and you're a day short, and you're putting your team through more. They went to Illinois and they won. So the two of the toughest losses, dare I say the two most frustrating losses since Matt Rule's got here, Indiana last year and Michigan year one, you look at how they responded the very next week. There might be some things that we're like, hey, we weren't crazy about this year 1 and 2. Hopefully that's better in year 3. I would say how they respond to adversity. Now, hopefully we don't have a whole lot of games like Michigan and Indiana this year. But when adversity hits, his teams the first 2 years here at Nebraska have shown how they'll respond with in a tough manner. They did not break. They responded the very next week. All right. Any final thoughts or anything off the text line before we head to break, Jake?
No, that's a big reason for my optimism for this season is those, and it might be, you could say it considered something small, but we've seen some losses destroy teams before and kind of change courses of seasons. And, it's not just, okay, well, here we are, it's okay. Let's pick ourselves up, work to get back at it next week. Nobody was given, hardly anybody, I should say, was given Nebraska a shot against Ohio State. And they went in there and they made a game out of it. And we were all, we're thinking like back-to-back big noons. This is going to be, this could be potentially pretty damning for Nebraska's program. But that is a big reason. That's why, you mentioned that potential for a loss at Cincinnati. And it might not be Cincinnati, but Nebraska might lose the game that they're expected to win this year. But I just don't have too much of a fear that it's going to go off the rails because of what they've been able to show, like you said, even through a less than 500 record through his first 2 years.
I completely agree with you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also, no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing a family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Rose Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text or call me at 402-525-0843. That's 402-525-0843.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
You're listening to The Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to The Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, I want to give a shout out to Suizo Construction, one of our sponsors here for hour 2 of The Adam Carriker Show. Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business. Suizo Construction. Again, that's SCHWISOW.com. Anything off the text line real quick?
No. I think we're good from here.
All right, so ESPN's Bill Connolly. Let me see. Let me find this so I can get it right. Said, and I quote, "I don't see any reason to think that we won't see more improvement," end quote. That's ESPN's Bill Connolly talking Nebraska football. So he was interviewed, all right? And let's see, the person who interviewed him, Josh, said did a bunch of recon, 2015 preview of Temple at SB Nation, and he read the 2019 Big 12 preview of Baylor, of course, year 3 at those 2 respective schools, focusing on Baylor in 2019, trying to figure out returning production, all sorts of things. But the problem is it's a completely different sport now. Like a lot of the players I named earlier that are proven players, like Dane Key, etc., they're not returning for us, but they feel like returning players. And dare I say, I even feel more confident about them than previous returning players we had at times, simply because their production is better. Even though they're new to us, they feel like a returning player because their production is more proven. Does that kind of make sense to you, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, it's the new math we're all doing. I mean, it's kind of funny going through those preseason magazines. Usually I'd always go and look at returning starters and kind of factor that into what I was believing the teams would do. Now, nobody really has that many returning starters. Like everybody has like 4 on offense and, maybe 3 or 4 on defense. And it's, but that does not tell you the level of experience that the teams have, because a lot of them are hitting the transfer portal.
New math. I like how you put that. That's the new math we're all doing. I like how you said that. I don't know if this is the best example, but I remember this was during spring. Purdue has 1 returning starter. And again, they struggled a lot. But 1 returning starter? Like, good Lord. That was crazy to me. Whether you've been good or not the year before. You look at Indiana, they were pretty much all new. So who knows? Maybe Purdue is this year's Indiana? You going to put money on that?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Oh,
Smart.
you'd win a lot if you did.
Yeah. On Purdue.
Yeah.
Hey, you like your money too much. That's a smart move. All right. So Bill Connolly said what Rule has proven in his previous stops is that he's one of the best just pure culture builders in the sport, and he will take his time. His first year at Temple and his first year at Baylor were both atrocious because he wasn't just going to take shortcuts. Now, you only have shortcuts, okay, if you choose to take them. So it's definitely different just in terms of how do you build the culture. All right, Bill said, I've always defined culture. It comes from when I went to Boise State. I wrote a piece about them at the time, and I just talked about all the guys who were in the building during that rise compared to the previous decade or so. And I started to realize, like, culture is basically when your upperclassmen are acting like coaches when the coaches are not around. So I've often said the coaches should be the directors, but the starters, the veterans on your team should be the leaders. They should take over a little bit more of the coaching-esque type role once they know what the coaches want, which usually comes around year 3 or 4, depending on how it all plays out at a particular spot. And he said, like, somebody at all times of every single day is upholding the standard and reinforcing the standard to the young guys, talking about the older guys taking that leadership role, reinforcing the culture. All right. He said, think of even back to the U when they were talking about Miami, when the voluntary summer workouts that were led by the seniors were even harder than the practices when the coaches were involved back then. Like, that's how you raise the bar and keep it high. How does that happen when you have like 3 fifth-year seniors or whatever? So it's definitely different. In other words, we only have 3 fifth-year seniors on this team. So how does that work out? How do you build that culture when you got a lot of new faces? And I've been really curious how really good culture guys handle that. All right. So I'm going to skip through this a little bit. He talks about how Matt Rule's always been a results in first year type of guy, don't matter. Bill said what you saw last year, year 2 under Matt Rule was fairly typical for Matt Rule year 2. He said, all right, so they've still followed the same protocol with some changes dictated on the new wave of college football and how it operates. And on paper, the improvement wasn't dramatic, but you went from 66 to 47 in the SP Plus, first time in the top 50 since 2016. So I think that's something that hasn't been talked about a ton anyways. Like, that's never going to make any sense to me at all that Nebraska was outside of the top 50 for that long, but you could squint and kind of see what you were looking for in terms of Matt Rule's second year. So I can keep reading the transcript of this interview. I'll summarize it for you. He doesn't talk about the coordinators. He doesn't talk about Dylan's year 2. He doesn't talk about the transfer portal. He talks about how Rule builds programs, how he builds teams, and the culture, which is more challenging to do, which is what Bill said he found interesting. How's he going to do that with the way the culture is now in college football with guys coming and going? But if you remember when Mike Eckler first got here from Tennessee, Mike Eckler said, this is like the strongest culture I've ever been around. So it seems like Matt Rule has still been able to accomplish that. All right. In about 30 seconds or less before we get out of here, what's your reaction to all of that? How much do you buy into that, Jake?
Well, it's interesting to see it broken down that way. Especially you talk about not having too many fifth-year seniors in there. A lot of it these days, obviously, transfer portal guys coming in that way, and being new to it, and it's just part of the new challenge. But I do think that whether how it was done the old way or whether it's done now, a program builder will know how to kind of go fight through that new time. Some will, some won't. But I think Matt Rule's on the good side of that. So we're almost there. We'll see.
One thing that helps is Matt Rule has shown the ability to adapt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Unlike Jake, who's going to a not fall wedding, I will be here tomorrow. Go Big Red Noise. Remember to throw the bones.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LDS texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the text to pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take